Hey girlies, welcome back to the channel, y'all. As you can see by the intro, your girl is transforming into a blonde Barbie. I'm giving you guys two different tones with one unit. Shout out to Yolissa Hair for providing this bomb 613 unit. You guys, it's 26 inches. We're going to get into the details, but before we get into it, let's just show you this slick back moment really quick. I just used a little bit of water and some Camille Rose Souffle. But I'm popping on a flesh tone wig cap so you can hide that hairline and make sure everything is just looking seamless when you are rocking a blonde unit.
So I tell him it's one of me. He making fun of me. His girl is above me. Like that boy is a cat. Saying he home, but I know where he at. Like, but he blowing her back. Think about me cause
All right, so now that we have that a little tacky, a little dry, let's go ahead and move on to the wig. So this is a 250% 26-inch small cap size 613 wig, you guys. Look at all that parting space. It's about a 13x4. It has the elastic bands, your combs, as well as your draw straps, so we can get that super snug fit that we like. And as you can see, I'm just obsessed with that hairline. I scooted back a little bit so you guys can see the full density and how the ends were looking. You know, we be looking for that thickness, especially on blonde units. Still obsessed with the hairline, but then I peeped how light the knots were. And I was like, okay, I never had an issue like this before. So I knew for a fact that I did not want to add any foundation powder. I didn't want to add any liquid. I didn't want to add any concealer. I feel like that makes your blonde units look very muddy and unprofessional. Let me know if it's all in my head. But I tried out this new technique today, and I think you guys are going to love it. So you guys are going to be getting that a little bit later in the video. So I'm just taking off my little extra ear tab areas, you know, because we need this to lay perfect. So I'm going in with my Kendra hairspray. It's the 25 hold, and we're just going to lay this down. And I did notice that the hairspray helped the knots in the front melt into my skin and look a little bit more translucent. So I did like that, but it didn't really do that for the middle parting. So I am going to be showing you guys a technique that I tried out for the first time this day, and I really, really loved it. But for the sake of the install, the first install, I wanted to show you guys what it looked like from start to finish without me doing any tweaking to the tones of this hair or any enhancements, so I can give you guys my final thoughts.
sneaky shit that you do.
So once I finished spraying that on the hairline, I just took the blow dryer on cool and warm just to get this tacky before I go in with the elastic band. So now that we have the elastic band on, I'm just going to smooth out the hair, and I'm realizing that I don't need a lot of heat. So I did blow the hair out a little bit, and then we just went ahead and removed that elastic band. And I was like, okay, look at it. It's not looking that bad. I was really happy with it, but I was a little skeptical about the parting. So I said, let me just go ahead and just do what I usually would do with my darker units. I took my heat protectant serum spray, whatever you want to call this, and I just rubbed it on the lace so I can loosen up the hair before I go in with my comb. I don't know why, but I find this part so satisfying when I do this. I just feel like the hairline starts coming to life, and you can kind of see where it's going, if you need to do any more plucking or if you're straight. But I am going to use my hot comb before I start the plucking process. I did go in and take a little extra density out of the top half of my frontal because I felt like it was giving a little bulky on one side. All right, so I just sped that part up, and then I'm going to remove the rest of this lace. And as you can see up close and personal, that pre-plucked is still looking good. I didn't take that much lace off, but you know, I took off what needed to go. And of course, you're gonna end up having to lay that elastic band back down on this so it can give that wet lace, melt lace. And then I'm gonna remove all of that extra hairspray and all of that gunk, especially that I have this foundation on, y'all. I'm like, okay, please make sure you don't mess this lace up. So I took my time with it. I use alcohol and a exfoliating pad. And I just played with the parting a little bit. Once again, I didn't want to add any enhancements. So this basically is the final look for the first day of installing Yolissa 613 unit. Now, since I was obsessed with this hair, you guys, I said, let me just, you know, tweak it a little bit. Let's enhance it. Let's try to see if we can make something shake with these knots, as well as trying to tone it. So I'm going to use this medium cool brown shade from Clairol. I got mine from Walgreens, and I'm going to mix the color up. Y'all know the drill. 1 goes with 2. Shake that bottle up, and then I'm going to use step 3, which is their conditioner. I'm going to place this on my knots, and I'm doing this because I want to make sure when I go in and apply that dye, it's not going to penetrate the knots instantly. Since it is a brown tone that we are working with, I wanted to make sure that the conditioner took any of that harsh tint first. And I'm going to let this sit on the hair for about, I want to say 15 to 20 minutes. This was my first time doing this technique. I really love the outcome because I don't like using the foundation powders, the concealers on my blonde units. So this was the first step to enhancing this Yolissa unit. So next step, let's go ahead and tone this. I'm going to use my Shimmer Light shampoo and this honey brown dye from Kiss. And I'm just going to mix that in a pot of water, boiling hot water. Obviously, don't let it still be on the stove boiling while you're doing this. But I just have mine sitting on the stove because I didn't want it all over my granite. So I'm just going to mix this up. I use a paper towel to make sure it's not too blonde, not too purple. And I add a little bit more dye if needed. And yeah, just stick that wig inside of there. The knots are already dyed. This is like day 3. I was really excited about this part because I was like, okay, we got the knots looking good, but let me see what this toning situation is going to do that I got from TikTok. Like, shout out to TikTok. I let that sit for maybe 15 minutes, and then here's the outcome. Are you guys obsessed? I am too. I was like, okay, now I want the roots to be a little bit darker, but I just didn't want to go too crazy, okay? This is just all about toning and enhancing those knots, and I decided that I wanted to curl the hair for you guys using my T3 curling iron, but I just felt like the lace melted even better, and like the quality was still there, and you can't beat that. So you got a 2-for-1 special with this Yolissa unit. So I will be pin curling the hair as I go. I really love how these curls turned out. I did curl away from my face majority of the time. I curled under when I got to like the back pieces because I wanted it to fall in a certain way. But this hair held a curl really nice. Just section it off if you are going to do the same look, and try to have like a lot of clips, because the more clips, the bigger the hair and the tighter the hair holds a curl. So I let the hair sit for about 15 minutes in the pins, and I took them out, and look at how luscious and big these curls are. It's giving 2013 Tati vibes. If y'all know, y'all know. I was obsessed with a look like this, and I would comb it out very calm so the hair can still be big and beautiful, but I'm not going for that look today. Nowadays, I'm very chill with my curls. I want them to look as effortless as possible. So I did use my Kenra's hairspray once I finished taking the pins out, and then I went ahead and continued to rake the hair because I didn't want it to fall. This is a straighter texture, so you have to be aware of that. If you are trying to get a more curled look, you will have to use your pins so your curls can last all day. And as you can see, I'm just, you know, pushing everything back so it can kind of get out of my face, because one thing about it, I hate that makeup on blonde hair, y'all. Like, ooh, I can't stand it. So I'll try to like perfect the fall in the front part of my hair so it wouldn't be all up in my face. But overall, you guys, I love the quality of this unit. I feel like Yolissa provided a top 10 grade A blonde unit, and I can't say that for a lot of companies. But I will link everything you need to know about this unit down in the description box below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you all in my next one.